Hi everyone, I hope all is well. This week's Parsha is Parshat Ekev. Now many times we speak about the brain and the heart, right, centers for processing information and emotion. But in this week's Parsha, what I'm proposing is that there's an uncanny amount of times, an unusual amount of times, where we reference the feet in this week's Parsha and walking. Now, there are three instances in particular where it mentions walking. First of all, walking through the land of Israel. And what are our feet doing there? Right? Every step we take in the land of Israel, we're literally claiming the land for ourselves, which is very cool. Now, second mention of walking and feet is through the desert, right? The Jews trudged through the desert for 40 years. And what does it say about this? That Hashem didn't allow the Jews' feet to swell up, right? Could you just imagine what it would have been like if the Jews' feet were swollen in the desert? We wouldn't have made it a foot. Right? You can't walk when your feet are swollen. That's not doable. What an amazing thing. Now, the third mention of feet, which is where I'm going with this, actually comes at the beginning of this week's Parsha. When it says, V'haya Ekev tishme'un, right? At the Mishpatim Eila, it's a long pasuk. And the first pasuk of this week's Parsha says, when you listen to these laws, to these statutes, right? You'll get all these good things. Hashem's going to love you. Your cattle's going to do well. You'll have a lot of kids, etc. Now, why? How does this have to do with feet? Well, it says Vaya Ekev tishme'un, and Ekev could mean hearing, whatever. But Rashi says that Ekev really refers to the heel, right? We see with Yaakov Avinu, right, forefather Yaakov, that shoresh, that root of the word, comes from the word of heel. And what does this have to do with mitzvot? The heel. So we see Rashi says that there are these mitzvot that we commonly step on with our heel, that we trample on with our heel. And that's what this pasuk does. That's what this first pasuk is talking about. These mitzvot that we step on with our heel, that we neglect a little bit. And if we are able to fulfill these mitzvot that are maybe a little more difficult for us to do, that we usually just step on instead, and say, maybe tomorrow. If we fulfill these mitzvot, then we'll merit all these great rewards. Now, how does this connect with the other two instances of walking? Well, what I was thinking is that as we walk through our lives, just like we walk through the land of Israel, and how we walk through the desert so consciously of all these amazing things that Hashem is doing for us, so too as we walk through life, we could really see we're walking literally through mitzvot, through every second of our daily lives. Mitzvot we could do. So, what I'm saying, what I think is a very nice message, is that we shouldn't step on them with our heels. As we see a mitzvah come up throughout our day, even if it might be a little more difficult for us to do, we should be conscious not to step on them, and therefore, hopefully, we'll merit all these great things that are in this week's Parsha in the Torah. And with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.